Hello everyone, Farmer here, and because we have some cool stuff this month, I decided that I'm gonna get, or I've gotten a haircut today in order to show all the stuff that's gonna be happening in August, and then giving some advice and some tips on all the stuff for August, or briefly going over most of the stuff. And then when some events are closer, I will cover more information about that. But let's get to it. First off, we have the Wyrmhunt. Long ago, this land was created by the great Dwagens. Twice a year, they return to see it. So we have raids, bosses, and followers that we'll be going over in a bit. We have a new event, which I'm fantastic to see right here, which is the Great Felling. For a limited time, earn extra experience, gold, orange, and items from defeating raids. So I'm looking forward to that. That is from the 5th to the 7th. Wyrmhunt is all month. And then we have my least favorites, but favorite nevertheless, more of a love-hate relationship with the To the Skies event for the additional 15% more shards. I will be potentially using Gilgamesh this time, because I am actually ascending Gilgamesh because I did get my goal of 100 ascension levels in Realm Shifter. So now I'm investing in Gilgamesh, so my goal is to get as strong as I can before the To the Skies so I can take and use Chain Shield on Gilgamesh so I can get that extra power with that. Next, we have the mischievous Trillions. So those are cool because we have the raids, the bosses, the followers, and the monsters. I'll be going over that when it gets closer to that event from the 15th to the 26th, because that is going to be a bit of information about there. But next we do have Surrounded by Memories, which means when we're doing memory hunts, we're going to get additional rewards like gold, XP, orange when doing the Shattered Memory hunts. Then last but certainly not least, we have the luck events, where it's going to be from the 17th to the 19th. The memories is going to be the 15th to the 21st. And then here's what it looks like for the event calendar. So as you can see here, the To the Skies is going to start on Thursday. The Great Felling is going to start on Monday. Then we're going to have the Mischievous Trillions start on the 2nd or 3rd Thursday of the month, technically, with the Surrounded by Memories. And the luck event is going to start on Saturday. And then we're going to continue to go on with that. And then there's the rest of the month right there. So now I'm going to take and head to my game in order to show you all the stuff for the Wyrmhunt event. So here we go. Let me move this over there. So I'll be going to the Codex, and I'll be showing off all the dragons. And here's my first tip for everyone. If you want to see all the dragons and you have not done it, the events meaning done it, you will have to Codex all the dragons. And some people are like, oh, man, come on, East Farmer Kevil, I don't want to Codex the dragons. Well, I'll tell you what, Sunny Boy and Sunny Girl. You're going to be able to get some really good rewards for doing the Codex. I'm going to show you my gear and spells that I'm going to use first for the event. So I'm going to use the Assassin Specialization so I can get this right here. And with Subterfuge, easier to apply status effects to your opponents. Additionally, status effects given to your opponents will last longer. So that's already plus 100% Assassin right there. Now on top of that, I'll be using this gear right here from the Fomorian Attunement House, which is the helmet, the chest, the boots, and then for the offhand, I'll be actually using something different. I'll be using the Bag of Tricks, because the Bag of Tricks has a chance to apply every single debuff. And also the Naghanene's belts also give the Assassin as well. The skill is I'll be using the Great Mimic's Mischief, because that can also have a chance to apply it combined with the Assassin gear and the Assassin Specialization. So you'll have a really easy chance, or a quicker chance, to apply all the debuffs to your opponents. And then here are all the spells that I'm going to use between all the different debuffs that are not covered by the Great Mimic's Mischief, because I do want to be wary to you. Let me show the Great Mimic's Mischief. The Great Mimic's Mischief does have a chance to cause debuffs to you as well. So that's why it says, summon a Great Mimic, beware. You can get debuffs, so be careful. Don't just be mindlessly spamming it while you're watching TV or cartoons or YouTube or whatever you want to watch on your second monitor or doing other stuff. I know you out there, y'all be doing that. But these are all the spells I'd recommend. There are some better spells out there, but these are all the spells that don't require you to have either the deity class line or other stuff, because you can use like the Fey spells, the Fey Fumigation, Fey Cataclysm, stuff like that, because it has a higher chance to applying some debuffs. But that's what I recommend right now. And if you do have the Sands of Harud, then that is a really high chance to apply the blind right there. But now let's get to the Codex. Go into bosses, and we'll start from the lower tier and go up. We have Lotan. Here are all the spells, the drops, and the immunities, and the weaknesses and resistances. You will need to get all these. The item that it drops, or the items, are going to be the Drake Blood, which removes any Drake Blights or any regular Blight that you get infected with. And the Coiled Shield gives you increased defense when you're using Bastion by a lot of percent. At number 6, we have Vritra. Here are all the stuff right here that Vritra drops, all the resistances, weaknesses, skills, drops, status immunities. The Vritra charm is fantastic because it gives you protection from paralyzed, stun, and petrification, and I believe it's 1 or 2 of the blights. Let me actually go check real quick by looking at my Ymir Vritra charm, which is a little sneak peek of what drops for that one. So I'm going to go here, type in Ymir. So yes, it gives you protection from none of the blights actually. I stand corrected. But you can see here, immunity is to paralyze, stun, and petrification, plus a certain percentage for status protection as well. I don't know what the regular Vritra charm does, but that's what the Ymir does right there. Moving on to the bosses, we're going to go with number 7. And we have 2 of these. Zaltys, I believe, is the first one. Here are all the weaknesses, resistances, skills, drops, and immunities. The Staff of Zaltys is fantastic for those mages that want to use Berserks, because it gives you a 5 to 10% HP back per turn with the Staff of Zaltys. The next one, Agathodaemon. Hopefully I pronounced that right. People can take and correct me in the comments if they said that I said it wrong. But here are the weaknesses, the resistances, the skills, the drops, and the immunities. The hammer is pretty cool if you want to take and, wield on a giant 2-handed hammer and do some hammer time with some people. It has a good amount of ward on it as well, so look out for that if you are tier 7. Moving on to tier 8, we have Beithir and Illuyanka, or Illuyanka. Illuyanka is going to be the first one, I believe. So this is the first one where you need to petrify, and that's why I was using the Gargoyle Companion, or possibly from the Bag of Tricks, and from the Great Mimic's Mischief, you can apply the petrify for that. Pay attention to take and look out in your action log to take and see if they were inflicted or said that they could not be inflicted, because that would check off. Or you can click on their Codex in the battle to see that. Now with this guy, or this dragon I'd say, the chest is really great because it gives you lots of defense and resistance, but it doesn't have any ward, so I think that's a good trade-off if you are tier 8 and you're looking for a nice tanky chest to help you when you get into tier 9 and you encounter those really dangerous warlords. Having a high defense chest or high defense gear in general will serve you greatly. Now going on to Beithir. Beithir is a new one that was added last year. It can actually summon more copies of itself, as you see here with the replica of Beithir. Similar resistances and weaknesses. The Beithir staff actually summons a Beithir, which can summon more Beithir, so you can have your army of bone dragons to help you out there. Next, we're going to go to the tier 9, and this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. We have Bashe, Hungry One. You can see here now we have something new, which is the immunity to the Holy and Dark, so that's why I had those spells in the beginning on what to do with that. And it has more status immunities, so that's where having some patience and taking your time will help you out with this event. The World Eater is a fantastic one-handed weapon that is wielded by the warrior class or any class that can use warrior gear, that has a bunch of slots. I believe it's like 9 or 10 slots available in there. And then we have Quetzalcoatl, Feathered One. Amazing weapon right here. But here are the immunities, weaknesses, resistance, spells, and then status immunities. The Ymir Valiant Feathers is fantastic because if you have this weapon imbued with your faction elements or enchanted with it, then your elemental faction attacks will deal additional damage while wielding this two-handed Polarum. Now, time to get to the real spicy ones, the tier 10. First, we're gonna have Gorynych, Son of Dragon, or as I like to call it, the purplish pink Dwagen. So here are all the immunities, resistances, weaknesses, skills, and drops with the long grocery list of status immunities. What's cool is that the trialing weapons give you 10% quest and 10% memory bonus, but it's a two-handed weapon, so you can only wear one at a time, and it has to be in your default loadouts to get the bonuses when you're doing the quests or the memories. And they also give you gold XP and orange. I highly recommend picking up all these, especially if you're a thief. Pick up the bow. This is the weapon that I do use in Endless. I have a 199, so my goal this month is to try and get, or is to aiming to get, a perfect trialing bow set at extra 1% stats to be a cool kid. So there is Gorynych right there. And last and certainly not least is Ymir. Here are all the weaknesses, immunities, resistances, and the skills. And what's cool is that Ymir drops the tier 10 version of all the other gear that I covered before, as well with the Jewel of Creation, which is one of the best adornments in the game, because it gives you HP, mana, attack, magic, resistance, ward, defense, like all that stuff. It doesn't give you dexterity. If it gave you dexterity, then it might be a little bit too overpowered, but that's all the stuff here for the Wyrmhunt event. You'll be action. Well, Farmer Kevo, where can you find these guys? Well, you can find them out on the open map, you can find them in monuments, and you can find them in normal dungeons and dragon roosts. So those are the 4 different places where you can find them. And I will also be doing plenty of dungeon runs on stream for the event. So if you have any questions or you want some help and where to take and get some information, I'll most likely redirect you to this video, or I will post or put the Codex of said dragon on the screen to help you out. So thank you everyone for watching. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what are some things you like or you don't like about this video that I made. And I'll also be live tomorrow on Twitch doing plenty of these runs, answering questions, having a blast with people. Link is in the description of that as well. Have a great rest of your day/night, everyone, and I will talk to y'all soon.